Welcome into QB1, presented by Reps VR, where we get a chance to sit down with some of the best and brightest quarterbacks in the state of Texas, and we have a big-time guest this time around. We are joined by the QB1 of Katy Tompkins. It is Jalen Milroe. Jalen, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Doing excellent. Appreciate your time, and,
Awesome.
and we're also joined by his coach, Todd McVey. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing well. I wish back in the day when I played quarterback, Jay, I could have been called QB1 also, man. That's pretty cool. That's good stuff.
Yeah, we're lavishing praise on guys.
Nice.
Jalen, I want to start with you. I want to ask you a little bit about taking the next step. I think last year you obviously had a fantastic year. I think you were already on people's radar, and then you really jumped onto a lot of people's radar. But I know that you're a guy who wants to keep working and improving.
Right.
Is there anything in particular this offseason that you've been focusing on as far as taking that next step?
So as a program, we talk about getting 1% better, and honestly, starting from high school, I always want to get progressed from the last season. So freshman season, I want to get better to sophomore season. And then sophomore season, I want to get better to junior season. And then vice versa going into my senior year. So I want to work on my complete game. I watch film, break it down, what things I can do better, and then I implement it into the field. So honestly, I'm working on my whole complete quarterbacking.
Coach McVeigh, I've got to ask you. It's probably nice to have a guy like Jalen back there taking the snaps. I can look at the film and I can and I can look at the stats and I can tell he's pretty good. You're the guy who sees him every day in practice. What is it about Jalen you think that makes him special?
I think it's just his work ethic, when he's out of practice, and the ability to, he's big time here for us, and he's going to be big time whatever he does in life, right? But the way he responds, we talk about E plus R equals O all the time. The way he responds to the event, when I jump on him, he doesn't get pouty because he wants to get better. He knows why I'm getting on him, or Coach Hop is OC. And he excels at trying to take what I said and get better at what we talked about something just yesterday, Jalen, right? We were talking about throwing, looking at – it was a little nuance. But he takes that and keeps getting better. And I think that's the difference for him is he's coachable. He wants to continue to get better at his craft. He doesn't satisfy himself. He's never satisfied. Love that about him because that's his competitive edge on things that he does. He just wants to get better. I think the perfectionist without trying to be a perfectionist, if that makes sense, because he knows he's never going to be perfect. We talk about that all the time here as well, but he strives to be perfect, to be the best that he can be. That's his controllable. He's been working on that since I met him in 8th grade. That hasn't changed. And that's his humbleness to be coachable and just get 1% better every day.
Jalen, I know there's probably a lot of Longhorn fans who are watching right now who are excited for you to show up on the 40 acres. Just a simple question. You had a lot of choices on where you could play at the next level. Why Texas?
So starting high school, I felt that I was a priority for Texas on and off the field. The relationship I had with Coach Herman has been great. I like the offense that he's ran at Texas. And then the relationship that we have, that's the biggest thing because I'm going to be away from home. So having a relationship with your coaches is important. And so not just only Coach Herman, but also the other staff members. Not just offense, but also defense. Because one thing I want to do is ask the defensive coordinator, how would you stop me? What are some things that you would do to stop the quarterback? And so I like to have the relationship, not only the offense, but the defensive staff members. So the relationship that I have with Texas is another thing that helped me choose Texas, but also close to home, having my family be able to, get down the road and head on to Austin. So those are the key things. And then I want to major in business, and Texas has a great business program, and so that's three components that made me choose Texas.
Coach, it's easy to forget, I think, because you guys have had such great success that Tompkins is still a young program. You guys have not been around a long time. How important is it to have a guy like Jalen who's to kind of carve their own path? Because, there's a lot of programs where you point at the trophy case and go, hey, just go do what those guys did. You guys are blazing your own path there at Tompkins. How important is a guy like Jalen to the program growth?
Well, I think, and Jalen can probably attest to this, the conversation we had in 8th grade when I went down, when I first took the job and talked to him in the weight room, and we talked about building this and, that we have built we are very relationship built here at Tompkins, you know, because it's the little things, the love for our brother. We talk about this all the time. I'm the dad here at the program. He's my son. And, you know, we talked that day, and he said he wanted to help build it here. And, you know, he's done a good job of getting his teammates also, you know, and encouraging them and setting, obviously right now with everything going on, you know, he's in charge of getting a lot of things taken care of for me, being part of our leadership program here. But, you know, he's done a good job of, I always say that I tell him the Jordan rule all the time. Jordan didn't start winning championships until he made it about everybody else. He could score 63 against the Celtics, but he didn't win. And that was the difference. I said, Jay, you can throw a bullet through that guy's head and hurt him all you want, but it ain't no good if you don't put a little touch on that ball and let him catch it and run. And we joke here all the time about take the money, right, Jay?
Yes, sir.
Because he knows I'm a big Brady fan, right? I said, Jay, you're the best athlete. You'd out-athlete Brady all the time, but he can throw that 5-yard out real quick. And the little things like that and, you know, moving the chains. And I think that's the best thing about Jalen. It's not about his stats. You know, it's about his teammates making them better around him. And I think that's the attribute of any great quarterback. He makes everybody else around him better, you know, so that's what happens.
Jalen, this has obviously been a strange offseason for everybody. Haven't been able to get together with your teammates as much as you'd like. But as the kids say, the grind never stops. I hope I used that correctly. But my question is how did you stay sharp? How did you keep working when, you know, you're thrown an obstacle like not being able to be around your teammates as much as you want?
So the biggest thing, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And the mindset of the guys on the team has been outstanding to me. Not just only me, because I like to bring everything as a program. And the biggest thing that I saw was guys still getting work in, because it had been easy to sit at the house and not do anything. But guys steadily getting better. We were actually being able to Zoom. We have a Sports U app that posts the workouts for all of us to, you know, stay active. There's been gyms that were available during this time. So some guys, you know, go to the gym, get some work in. Some guys have a garage with weights there. And then the greatest thing as a quarterback is when your receivers are hitting you up and saying, hey, let's go catch and let's go get some work in, you know, because I say that's the biggest thing from when I began high school to now. Is because I was more, you know, hey, let's go get some work in. You know, I was the youngest guy. Now I'm a veteran on the team, so it's important to be, you know, the leader of the team, getting the guys out. But the greatest thing is guys on the team saying, hey, let's go get some work in. And that's the greatest thing. Not just varsity players, but also freshmen, sophomores, new guys to the team. They're looking to get better. And the greatest thing, we were on the Zoom call, and I'm more knowledgeable I have more knowledge, you know, of the offense because I've been in the system for a long time. And someone had a question. He texted me after the call and asked me a question about the play, and that was awesome to me. Cause I like explaining things. Cause I'm a student of the game. I'm still gonna grow. I don't care how long, 30 years, 40 years. I'm still growing. I love to get coached. If I'm not getting coached, I don't like it.
I'll hire you, Jay.
So that was the greatest thing. You know, after the call, he texted and we talked about it. I explained it in depth. You know, and then also sent him some film, you know, of how what I look for each time I snap the ball. What am I looking at? And then he sees it as well, because, you know, receivers and the quarterback see it kind of differently, but we also need to be on the same page. We talked about capping the field, you know, which is open spots on the field and what's not open on the field. And so I see things differently than other guys on the team. So now we're on the same page on what I see and what he sees. And so, you know, then come on the sideline and we talk about it. But that's the goodest thing, the best thing about it. You know, we're staying mentally locked in and working hard through it all.
Coach, kind of a similar question for you. Football season's coming, whether you've had the opportunity to get together with your guys as much as you want or not. What has been your process as far as staying connected with your guys in a time when you guys can't be together?
Well, I think Jalen hit this with our Zoom meetings, Sports U app, which has been a blessing. You know, the kids have been able to we have a thing we call a buyout. You can't finish a workout without a buyout. Jalen knows this. And they have to video it and send it on the Sports U app, and they'll do it in real time or fast time every once in a while. But, you know, that's our controllable. That's all we have had. And I'll tell you, know, we've got kids doing what we call Falcon curls, and they've got a stick with weights, and I'm talking like their backpacks and books in them, and they're going through the workout. And, out in their backyard. We have been very creative, and I give Coach Mike, my strength conditioning coordinator, kudos to that. We've done Sally up, Sally down, push-ups, Sally up, where they play the song. They got to go up, they got to come down on squats, and they've been amazed at how hard that actually is. So when we've been out, just trying to stay connected with them in the Sports U app, Zoom meetings. We have our leadership council meetings, and our leadership council is about 14 guys. Have done a really good job of staying connected with those guys, because everybody in this pandemic has had, whether parents, jobs, family members sick. So we've just tried to stay connected on being there for each other. And I think that's the best we can do. And that's our controllable. We don't linger in the bad stuff. We do not. We don't allow that. And so we're going to be as positive we can with each other. And I think it's paid off as we've been able to come back to strength conditioning camp. And the kids have been in much better shape than I thought they would be, because you just don't know, right? And so we're very pleased with their efforts in that.
All right, Jalen, I'm going to give you the last word about Coach McVey, because we know coaches and quarterbacks have a close relationship. And we also know coaches tend to be, I don't want to say this night, they tend to be repetitive. They tend to have the same few things that they say over and over. So if we were to create the Coach McVey doll and you pull the string and it says something, what is the thing that he says most often? What is the thing you hear in your sleep because Coach McVey says it so often?
Earrings. We had to take off our earrings.
Really, Jay? That's the one.
No.
Get your earrings out, really?
No. Okay. So
I'm a little disappointed.
So me and Coach McVey, before we start our day, if I see him, we're either giving a handshake or we're giving hugs. Mm-hmm. But during this time, we can't do that. So it's 6 feet, 6 feet, 6 feet. Every single time. I forget. And then I try to point to him. And then he stop me. I'm like,
it's a lot of 6
feet, yeah.
A lot of 6 feet. Be like 6 feet, 6 feet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Social distance, David.
This is the shirt from my secretary.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's great.
How about that?
Wow, man, that's I've heard that from so many coaches about the toughest thing is that you're just so used to going up and just throwing an arm around your guys, and it's like, hey, we gotta back up. Yeah. It's that's funny. 6 feet. He is Todd McVey. Todd 6 feet McVey, the head coach of Katy Tompkins Falcons, and the quarterback QB1 Jalen Milroe. Guys, really appreciate your time. Thanks again for joining us, and best of luck in 2020.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.